Hello everyone, Nancy here with the Joyful Cottage. If this is your first time visiting, I want to give you a warm welcome. In today's video, I'm going to share 3 projects I've worked on for spring. They're floral inspired, and I had actually planned on sharing 6, but the video was going to be so long that I decided I should break it up into 2 different videos. So today I'll share 3, and then at a later date I'll share 3 more. So if you're ready, let's get started. For my first project, I have this box I thrifted a couple of years ago, and it was a lime green, and I painted just the outside. I left the inside the lime green color because it was in great shape and no one is going to see the inside, so I wasn't worried about it. I had given this a quick coat of white chalk paint, kind of skipping over the green, allowing some of it to show through. And this was a spring project. You'll notice that the lock is broken, and I wasn't worried about that. Things like that don't disturb me. I feel like it just adds to the charm. So I'd given it a quick coat, as I said, of white chalk paint, and it was fine for that time, but now I'm ready to do something different. I have an old can of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the color linen white, and there's just a little bit of paint at the bottom, and it's very thick, which is going to be perfect for this project. So I'm going to stir it up a little bit, and then I'm going to start painting. I'm using a chip brush, and I'm applying the paint with a technique of just brushing and pouncing the paint so that it gives a textured look to the entire box. You can see how thick this paint is. It's really sticking to the brush when I pull it out of the can. And as I said, this is perfect for this project. If you wanted to create a textured look and didn't have some old paint like I do, you could add baking soda to your paint and create the texture that you want. But don't throw those old paint cans out. If there's a little bit of paint in there, you'll find a use for it somehow. And I did end up giving this one coat plus some touch-up later in the project. If I get paint on the tile, I can just wipe it off with a wet cloth. This is a heavy texture that has a stone effect, which I'm really liking. I'm painting around the hardware because I have plans to enhance that. To weigh down the box and keep it from tipping over so I could manage the painting, I stuck a heavy can of paint inside. I do have a turntable which would have been perfect for this little project, but I can't find it. I don't know where I put it, so for now I'll just have to get by. The tiles on the top of this box are so charming, the florals and the leaves, and I'm going to enhance these tiles by adding gold accents, and those same gold accents I will add to the hardware. I'm using Decor in champagne gold for this project. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm very frugal, and whenever I can, I use supplies that I have on hand. So that's why I'm using this Decor champagne gold. I think it's going to look great with this project, but of course you could use rub and buff or any metallic that you desire, or choose a different paint color or black, or there's all kinds of options for this, but in this case I'm using the gold. I want to enhance this and give it more of a upscale look. I'm using a small artist brush for this part of the project, and I'm just dipping it into the paint and offloading if I think I have too much on the brush. I'm going over this hardware with a light touch, just being careful not to get too much on the box, but not worrying too much about getting it on top of the white because I can always go back and touch it up. The natural gaps in the tile give me an opportunity to add the gold around the tile and tie it in with the hardware, and also just give the whole box kind of a vintage look. So I'm not going for a real heavy coat of paint in these gaps. I'm just adding enough to, as I said, enhance it and to tie it all in and give it more of a aged appearance. You can see here how this shade of gold just ties in so well with the colors in the tile. After the gold has dried, I can go back and touch up any areas where the gold has bled onto the white paint. The first coat of paint on the hardware has dried, and I want to go back in and give it a second coat. I'm very satisfied with the way this little box turned out, and now I'll show you how I've styled it for spring using the colors in the tile as my inspiration. For this project, I'm going to make over this little terracotta bird. It's been in my stash for a while. I got it at a thrift store some time ago, and I believe it was originally meant to hold a tea light, but I'm going to do something a little bit different with it. The first thing I'm going to do is take that same thick chalk paint in linen white and add some apple barrel country gray paint, acrylic paint to it to change the color a bit. I want to give it more of a gray white. And I'm going to keep stirring and adding color until I get the color I want. And because this paint is so thick, I'm going to be able to cover this bird in one coat. After the paint has dried, I'm giving the bird one coat of clear wax. I'm wiping off the excess wax, and then I'm applying some dark antique wax to the bird while the wax is still damp. And I'm going to wipe back some of the wax, the dark wax. And unfortunately, the video that shows that is corrupted and I can't use it. So I apologize for that, but I did basically the same thing I did with the clear wax. I just applied it and then wiped back until I got the amount of wax on the bird that I wanted. So this is how the bird looks after it's been completely waxed and the dark wax has been put on and wiped back, and now it's dry. And I'm going to add some floral to where the tea light would normally go. thought I could get away without gluing the moss into the bird, but it soon became clear that that wasn't going to work. So I just pulled it out and added some hot glue and then placed the moss and the flowers back into the bird. Everything I used in this project were things I already had on hand. The paint, the little bird itself, the hot glue, of course, I always have. And the flowers came from my stash. I had some small flowers that were perfect for scale on this particular project. So I was happy that I could just use everything that I already had and not have to buy anything. There's a tiny area where the terracotta is showing through. I don't know if the paint chipped off or if I missed that spot, but it's easy to fix. I can just take some dark wax and cover that. I'm pleased with the way this sweet little bird turned out. The dark wax adds that great highlight to all those details in the bird, really brings them out. And I like the way it gives it all more of a vintage look, and the flowers have a vintage feel to them as well. So overall, I'm happy with this one. This is another thrift store find that's been in my stash for a while. I have a vision for this, and it starts with giving it a coat of paint. This is Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the color Chiffon Cream. It's kind of a buttery white, a really pretty color. I'm applying the paint with a foam brush, just trying to minimize the brush strokes. After that coat of paint has dried, I'm taking a 220 grit sandpaper and lightly sanding the whole piece just to smooth it out, make sure I don't have any raised paint spots so I get a nice smooth coat on my second coat. Now here's where this project went awry. I'm applying a coat of clear wax here, which turns out to be a big mistake, as you'll see a little bit later in the project. So learn from my mistakes, and I'll show you the whole thing and how I redeemed it. I want this to be a mixed media project, so I'm going to add an IOD mold and some IOD transfer. So I've never used molds before. I've had this Classic Elements mold set for quite some time. I've been wanting to use it, but I just haven't found the right project to start out on, and so I thought I would try it on this one. And so this is a brand new, just opened mold set, and I've got some cornstarch which I'm going to place in the mold, which I've seen and been told that that's what you need to do to make sure that your clay doesn't stick. I'm using air dry clay by IOD, and I don't know if it's just the age of the clay or if they're all this way, but when I opened up the package it was really hard and kind of crumbly. So I put it in a plastic bag, I sprayed some water on it, and I kind of worked it through and left it overnight, and then I kneaded it the next day, and it was fine. The clay turned out great. So here as I said, I'm getting ready to make a mold for this project, and I'm doing everything that I've been taught to do through YouTube videos and looking at IOD websites. So anyway, if you have tips for me as I'm going through this, please leave them in the comments. Clearly this was not a clean execution, as you can see. I had a little trouble getting the clay out of the mold, and I had a little bit of trouble later. A piece of the clay breaks off, but that's not a big deal because when it's still fresh you can kind of press it back together, and you'll see that later. But for me, this was not as easy as it looked on YouTube. So I don't know if it's just probably user error, I'm sure. And I'll get more proficient as I continue to use this product. I do like the ultimate outcome. So anyway, thanks for sticking with me through this. And I hope that you're enjoying my mistakes as much as I am. And here I'm just cleaning up the mold with a plastic knife, just kind of going around the edges and smoothing them out and removing any excess clay. Now I'm ready to attach my clay piece to my wood board, and I'm just going to use some Tight Bond quick and thick glue to adhere this to the board. Now I've got this clay decorative piece, which I'm going to call an applique. I've got this applique up in the left top corner of my project, and now I'm going to use that same chiffon cream paint to paint the applique. And all the tips that I've seen with using and painting clay appliques like this is to do it while it's still wet, so that when it dries it doesn't crack as badly. And I did find that this worked out just swell. I started out using my chip brush and then switched over to a smaller artist brush so I could get into the details of the applique. I want to add a transfer from the IOD Spring Collection, Lost Garden, and I just love this booklet. It's got so many wonderful images in it. I let my project dry overnight, which is what I normally would do before applying a transfer. And transfers are easy to work with. I've been doing transfers now for about 3 years. I've applied them to glass, wood, all sorts of different things. I've never had a problem. So it didn't occur to me to be concerned at all this time. And so with a transfer, you have some grid lines that you can use to center your project, and then holding the item down with one hand, you use your tool that comes with the transfer to rub over the transfer until it lifts from the vellum, and then you can see the transfer onto your project. So I just started right in and was going along, and I noticed that the images weren't fading, which is normally how you tell when something is actually transferring. And you just lift up a little bit at a time until you can see that the whole image has transferred, and then you can pull your plastic away and burnish it down. Well, it didn't take too long for me to realize that this was not going to work. This was just becoming a hot mess. I went over and over the image. I pushed as hard as I could to make sure that the transfer would transfer onto the board, and nothing I did was working. And then I could see that the transfer was pulling the paint right off the board, and it was just a mess on the back of the plastic. So I knew then that something had gone wrong, that I had done something that created this mess. I pulled the transfer completely off the board and thought about what I had done to create this mess. And then I remembered that I had added clear wax to the paint before I used the transfer, and that's a no-no. Never use clear wax before you transfer. Clear wax can go over the transfer, but not under. I really wanted to salvage this project. I had a vision for it, and I just knew that I could make it work if I could just rid myself of this evil clear wax. So what I ended up doing was just sanding it all down and removing the top layer. I repainted this piece with 2 coats of the chiffon cream and let it dry overnight before proceeding with the final step. This time I'm using a different approach with the transfers. Instead of one large transfer, I'm using a number of smaller ones. And I'm kind of creating my own design. I'm thinking about the title, Lost Garden, and in my mind imagining what a lost garden might look like. I would think it would be kind of wild, kind of unplanned, and so that's the theme of this particular transfer. just picking out images I like that would seem to fit the space, and also looking at the stems and how they might match up with the stems that are already transferred down onto the board. I thought this project needed a little something more, so I'm going to add a little bit of glitz with Deco Art Metallics in Champagne Gold, and I'm going to add this to the applique and also around the edges of the box. And I am really happy with the way this turned out. I'm not going for a heavy gold look here. I'm just using a light touch. I'm brushing and dabbing, kind of keeping it like it's been worn off a little bit. That's the look I'm going for. I want this to have an overall vintage look, like it's been around for a while, like the gold was there, but has worn off with time. if I make a boo-boo, I can just erase it with a little bit of clear wax. And here's the final project. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think it has a vintage vibe? Well, that was a little bit of a different video, wasn't it? I started out thinking it was going to be quite different when I was working on those projects, but you know, that last one was really such a hot mess, as I said. But you know, sometimes that happens, and as it turns out, I think the end result was more interesting. I don't know if you noticed the dents and such that came from trying to get that wax off, and the ruined transfers, but it kind of gave it a more rustic look, and I like that. So you'll have to tell me which of the three projects was your favorite. I've been really busy lately. I've wanted to get more videos made and posted more often, but there's some things going on in my life that has prevented me from doing that. I'll be going in for oral surgery in a couple of weeks, and that's going to put me out of commission for about a week or 10 days. So I don't know if I'll get that next video of the decor project I worked on posted before I go or not. But even if I don't, I'll be thinking about you guys, and hopefully can get some decorating done here and get a video on that as well. But that may have to wait for a couple of weeks. I'm just not sure. I've got some errands I've got to take care of before I have this done. My son's going to come take me to the dentist to have the work done, to the periodontist. And then he'll stay with me. And so anyway, I don't need to go into a lot of detail of that. I know some of you are people that pray for me regularly. So if you would pray for that, I would be really appreciative. But going back to that last project, you know, when I was trying to save it, I was thinking about, you know, redeeming it, as I mentioned, and that made me think about how the Lord has redeemed me and how grateful I am that he did. It says in Galatians 3, and this is the 13th verse, Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone who is hanged on a tree. You know, Easter is coming. It's just right around the corner, and we'll be commemorating Christ's death, burial, and resurrection, celebrating his resurrection and the forgiveness of sins that we have because of what he has done for us. And I'm so grateful for that. So as I was working on that project and trying to save it, I was thinking about how God has saved me. And I was such a hot mess when he did. And sometimes even now I get into messes that are hot messes, and the Lord always is faithful to pull me through. So I hope that if you're in a place right now where you're discouraged, or maybe you don't know the Lord yet, I hope that you'll seek him and find him. He's such a wonderful Savior, and life is so much better when we're walking with him. Thank you for joining me today. I pray that you have a great rest of the month, and that as spring is right around the corner, you're looking forward to the warmer weather. I know that I am, and that we'll soon be meeting again here at a Joyful Cottage. God bless you.